Just this weekend, I flew out to Columbus, Ohio, and won a vintage tournament. I'm going to take that deck for a spin in a vintage league and just show you just how good it is. All right, welcome back, Vintage Gamers. We're going to play a Vintage League today with my winning deck list from the BCDL Vintage Open. This is a Oath of Druids, Oath and Tell list, teched for the Mirror and for Blue-Black. So the things that are different in this deck list compared to normal is I've cut a Narset for an Oko. I think Oko is the most important card in the Mirror, and I have not a very good time or experience casting Narset in this deck with Orchard tokens. I think if you're casting Narset and only getting an impulse out of it, it tends not to be very worth it. So I don't usually like to play Narset in my Oath decks. And I think Oko is really important. I end up cutting a second negation. I don't really like having a ton of negations in my deck. Instead, I played a Strip Mine. The big reason for playing a Strip Mine is so that you have extra ways to deal with your opponent's orchards. And of course, Urza's Sagas and Bazaar of Baghdad's. This could be another Beseiju, but I feel like once you get to too many legendary lands, it gets a little awkward. In the sideboard, the big changes are instead of a third Vigor, I have an Energy Flux. I think the Energy Flux is a harder hitting card against aggro shops than Vigor is, and it can also be used against some of the more artifact-oriented Saga decks, especially when they're light on win conditions. I am going to play a Karakas in my sideboard. That's probably the biggest change I made. Basically, it's good in the Mirror where you can bounce Atraxa. It's good against removal decks where you can bounce your own Atraxa and then replay it with Show or Flash, or even pitch it to Force. And then it's good against just a variety of legendary creatures running around like Lurrus and Lavinia. This performed pretty well, but I didn't exactly hit all the matchups that I really wanted to. Only one negation and one Mindbreak Trap. It'll give us a little extra game against combo decks, but this deck is definitely not built super well at beating combo decks. Having your combo-ish win the game thing be on a suspend for a turn and requiring a Forbidden Orchard against like a true Besiege to Storm combo deck makes this deck a little bit weak to that kind of thing. And then the other major changes, I made sure I had Serra's Emissaries in my board. Serra's Emissaries is a lights-out Oath target / Show and Tell target against Bazaar of Baghdad, Initiative, and aggro shops. One of the nice parts about this build is because you play Show and Tell, it doesn't actually hurt you to just bring in all 7. So most of the time you'll be taking out Citadel, and you'll have 7 targets that come off your Oath, but all of these cards win the game typically against the different aggro decks in the format, and they can all be put into play off of Show and Tell. So basically just a sideboard where the changes were a nod to the various aggro decks in the formats using Serra's Emissary, a nod to the aggro shops deck, which has become very popular with Energy Flux, and then ways to beat the Mirror with the third Oko, the Strip Mine, and the Karakas. That kind of thing came into fruition this weekend. We ended up getting all the data for all 4 events during the weekend, thanks to people like Ash and Eric, who were able to do data for us. So the community gets both challenges as well as the RCQ and the Mana Traders event. We have all the data from 2,000 matches of online Vintage this weekend. This is what the metagame looked like in those 4 events. Most played deck is the blue-black Lurrus Saga control deck, featuring 9 colorless spell lands. Second most played deck, Oath of Druids, mainly the Oath and Tell version. Third most played deck, still up around 40, almost 50 players, was the Initiative mono white deck. That's still a major metagame player, even if it's kind of fallen off from its pedestal. And then the other major player in the metagame was aggro shops, probably mostly the Null Rod version. You have a variety of different kind of decks down in the lower numbers here. Got some combo decks like Besiege the Storm and Doomsday, some Bazaar decks, Counter Vine and Dredge. Even Aggro Vine had a pretty good showing. You have other people who are still playing Tinker and some other fair decks. You can see how the weekend turned out here. Oath had a crazy good weekend. Oath is a great deck if you're going to play against Blue-Black, Lurrus Saga, Initiative, and aggro shops. If the metagame is going to consist of these 4 decks at extremely high levels, the Oath is going to come out ahead unless Lurrus Saga does an incredible shift in how its deck building is done. A blue-black kind of land-based control deck is just not very well suited to combat the things that Oath of Druids is doing. And I'm not saying that you can't build your deck to be better against Oath. You most certainly can, and there are people who are already doing that. But it's something that people are going to have to change, and they're going to have to change on their own because the current lists that are getting copied and pasted for blue-black are just not sufficient to be beating Oath. The one thing that Oath doesn't have a good matchup in is this Beseech deck and this Doomsday deck. But the problem there is that these decks are very bad against the blue-black Lurrus deck. Even if they might be okay, slightly over 50% against the initiative deck, even then, the Aggro Shops deck is a deck I really like against Doomsday and Beseech as well. So you can see here, Lurrus Saga and Initiative and Aggro Shops and Beseech all had pretty, reasonable weekends, with Oath having the really strong weekend. Doomsday had a really hard time with this metagame, and I suspect Doomsday doesn't have a lot of room to maneuver inside of its deck list. So it's going to be hard for Doomsday to make a comeback without some kind of metagame cycle pushing some of these decks off of the top. So yeah, a huge weekend for Oath. I was really happy with the metagame call, and we're going to take this deck for a spin tonight. Let's see you in round 1. Are you interested in weekly vintage metagame recommendations? Do you want to see your deck list played on my channel? Or maybe you are just looking for the best way to support my vintage content. Make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description below. Let's battle. All right, back on Magic Online, and we've got our favorite opponent, Absorbent 3, across the table. Actually, interested to see how this matchup plays out, and the reason is because Absorbent 3's red-green decks are naturally extremely creature-oriented, which makes Oath good against them. However, the creatures that Absorbent 3 tends to put in their deck are things like 4 Canker Bloom. Is that how you say that card? I don't even know that's how you say that card. It's like a disenchant on a 3/2. Cinder Vines, main deck Vigor, main deck Besage, main deck Pyroblast. So Absorbent 3 is always ready for artifacts and enchantment. So I'm interested to see how this goes. However, a Show and Tell is probably going to be very good against them. So my hand has a Force of Will, a Vampiric, an Oath, and an Atraxa. So I'm looking at something like turn 1 Vamp for Lotus, double Oath with Force backup. Yeah, let's do that. Something to keep in mind when you are playing this deck is that you are a combo deck. You're looking to play turn 1, or you're basically looking to play turn 1 Oath or Show and Tell, or a turn 2 Oath or Show and Tell with Force backup. That's basically what this deck is trying to do. And when you don't want to keep hands that are like too slow or too controlling, because it's just not really your deck philosophy. That is not a great one for us. I don't know how many Wastelands are actually in the opponent's deck, but it means we're only going to get 1 Oath of Druids here. I can't imagine I'm not still just going to go for Lotus Oath. Obviously, it's a little bit on the all-in side of things, but I don't really like any of my other options anyways. Like, I could theoretically have not vamped and just tried to naturally draw out of it, but there's a creature in play. I have an Oath in hand. I have a Force. So as long as something doesn't happen like, I don't know, land Elvish Spirit Guide Besage, or like Black Lotus Besage, or like Mana Crypt Land Besage. Those are the things that I'm like the most worried about. Or Chalice on 0. Yeah, I have to force that. I don't think there's a compelling reason to go for having a second Force in hand. I know that I'm not drawing a blue card this turn, so I can't really protect my Oath anyways. And having an Atraxa in hand allows me to, at some point in this game, draw lands and cast Show and Tell, maybe. I don't know if that vibes entirely, because I could theoretically have my first Oath killed and draw lands and have Force backup for my second Oath. Maybe that's fair enough. Because, like, getting to 3 lands, I'm always going to get 2 lands and play an Oath before I get to 3 lands anyways. All right, maybe I talked myself into it. Let's see. I'm pretty worried now, to be honest. Wasteland Chalice against my Vamp Lotus line is very strong. So if my opponent just has, green land plus the Bloom card, it's gonna be not great for us. simply having Vigor in their hand. But if they have nothing, we trigger an Oath and probably win. So, see what happens. That Chalice was really nice, though. Here's Forest. Do you have the Bloom? Looks like it. Oh, just has Boseiju. All right, well, Boseiju at least gets us a land here. I don't expect to get Wastelanded again. I would rather actually just get the Tropical. That way, if I draw any off-color Moxen, I can play a Oath. All right, so I have a game plan at least. Any mana source gets me another Oath, and they're down to 4 cards. That's also really broken. Yeah, agreed. Good card. Would cast again. So now I have Force, Mystical, Oath. Yeah, I mean, Ancestral, that's a magic card. Definitely one of the good ones. Is this going to be a Boo? I feel like we would counter a Boo. We would probably also counter a Bloom. A Tarmogoyf. So, is there any reason? There's no reason not to just hold all of my cards and Oath and just let this go. There's nothing I'm going to Mystical for, right? It's not like I can get a Time Walk and play a Time Walk. It's not like I can get a creature and show and tell. I'm not dead to this Tarmogoyf. As long as they don't have like another Boseiju, right? We just want to take a natural draw here. Nice. Tropical, I guess. Don't have to make another Spirit token. All right. We might have just drawn enough action to fight through this. However, I feel like if we hadn't drawn Ancestral, probably we're unlikely to beat Wasteland Chalice Boseiju. See what happens here. Opponent could easily still have like land double Bloom or something. That's a Scavenging Ooze. That one's fine. So we don't want a Mystical now because Mystical puts it on the top and then it'll get milled over by Oath. What we'll do is we will trigger our Atraxa and then Mystical for Time Walk. I think I like Mysticaling for Time Walk for my draw step and not my Atraxa trigger. I don't know if that's true or not. I guess we could always mill over the Time Walk as well as something to consider. I don't know the math or logic whether you want to Mystical and get a random card on draw, or I think it's your draw step. You just make it the Time Walk. You can always hit the Time Walk off the Atraxa too. All right, so I'll take Oath, Jet as an artifact, Misstep as a land. Oh, sorry, Misstep as not a land. Misstep as an instant, Tinker as a sorcery, and then do I want a Strip Mine or a Boseiju? I guess a Boseiju is better. I'll take a Strip Mine. Done. And then we'll Mystical or a Time Walk. Oh, they have a Misstep. It's fine. I'll Misstep your Misstep. Have Force still covering Pyroblast, so I can afford to do that. Oh. They have the Pyroblast and the Misstep. Oh, Veil. I'm always surprised. Shouldn't need a show and tell anymore in this game. All right. Mystical Tutor for a Time Walk, and that should just put us well out of range here. We can even go for a a Tinker. I think normally I would actually maybe Atraxa again just to get another card, some more cards, but I think we'll just Tinker for a Citadel instead of flipping cards over. And we've already used an Atraxa as well. Yeah, that's fine. I think I'll just not use my Oath. All right, so I'm gonna hit my opponent with this Atraxa. Tinker for a Citadel. They actually got 7 life as well. I don't think we'll be able to get to 10 permanents. Maybe I should have played my Oath out just because it'll make us more likely to get to 10 permanents. I guess theoretically this thing is pretty large. There's no way, like, if they draw a Pyroblast off the top, can I die? I guess theoretically I could die. As long as I can strip mine this Taiga, though. Maybe I should just not risk it at all. Trying to see if I can figure out if there's ways that I'm opening myself up to die. I'm at how many permanents? 3 permanents. I can't hit a Time Walk because I've already used my Time Walk and I have no Vampiric in this deck. Or sorry, Yogwill in this deck. I specifically chose not to play Yogwill this week. I know a lot of people don't play Yogwill. I typically like Yogwill in these decks, but it kind of felt a little superfluous. All right, I'm going to strip mine them off of the Taiga so they're less likely to have Pyroblast for my Atraxa. And then I'm going to just keep my life total as is and fetch away this Oath and look for, like, some kind of piece of counter magic, maybe. There are no creatures in the graveyard. I was like more, I guess there's like no way. Like, I'm just thinking if I lose some life, they Pyroblast my Atraxa and hit me for lethal, right? That's the thing I'm worried about the most. All right, well, I got nothing. If we're fetching, why strip first? We're always stripping their Taiga, but I guess we don't have to strip first. I'm not sure what would change that. I'm not sure what would change that. We literally can't hit those cards, and even if we did hit those cards, we're casting them for life. So why does using the strip mine first matter? We can't hit an ancestral, so we're not drawing cards. I agree, though. I mean, we don't have to use the ancestral. We don't have to use the strip mine until until we have all the information. I agree. There's like there's no real point arguing that because you are technically correct. Just don't think it matters that much. All right, so we're playing the Mirror versus Absorbent 3. Boseiju is the only way they can deal with the Sphinx, so you still probably bring in Sphinx. You don't really want Negation or Trap or Flux. You probably are bringing in Sarah's Emissary. Make sure Show and Tell is really strong. And then do we care enough to dismember anything is like the final question. Oh, I know. I don't think this is a strip mine matchup. I don't think we need this strip mine at all. I don't really believe this is a fluster matchup, even though opponent does present spells. Nor do I believe it's a negation matchup, although you can negate the Minsc and Boo. I think I like strip mine, flusters, negations, and Citadel out for just some haters, some big heavy hitters and dismembers. Seems fine. Yeah, agreed. I think the next step is for the resurgence of combo decks. The problem is that combo decks are like the big combo decks right now are Beseech into Doomsday, and they do not play well into Blue Black Saga. So maybe Jewel instead. Jewel and Beseech. Yeah. This hand has an early Oko, which should be pretty good in this matchup. I'm gonna keep this one. This hand doesn't do any of the things I just told you to do with your deck, where you're mulliganing to like Oaths and Show and Tells. But I mean, Oko versus a creature deck is also a powerful play. So, does run into Mind Break Trap, but whatever, man. Do I want to stand up my Sapphire? No. I'm gonna make a food. If they end up having like Redland Pyroblast, I think that's okay. We have another Oko. No worries. Nice tech. Nice tech. Caracas is nice there. Don't care about this Collector Roof at all. I can turn it off if I need to. Got a nice brainstorm. I don't even know if we want to brainstorm, right? Like, what do we, like, all our cards, are our cards bad? I guess we can just keep holding it and just... I mean, I have Besage You. It's not like the Strip Mine is, like, the only land answer to Caracas, right? And we also have, like, Sarah's Emissaries and stuff, so... I mean, I don't even care about protecting my Oko. I just want to get the scheme going. Yeah, I'm just gonna play conservatively, attack here, and just keep making things. If we get a game 3, we will put the Strip Mine back in probably, just so we have another answer to Caracas. But the deck is nicely positioned with 2 Besage as pretty much catch-all answers to most of the things that are going to hurt you. Exactly. Agreed. Let me go back and answer some questions. I feel like I had some questions. DT was asking what blue-black tools work well against Oath. So you have some cards like Cage, Repeal, and Feed the Swarm that Joe Brennan played. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I don't really think I want my opponent to have that in our value battle here. I guess we can just brainstorm. I can just Force Pitch Oko. Just gonna Force Pitch Oko. I don't need a second Oko right now. And I'm just gonna hold this brainstorm until I have the most possible cards in hands before using it. So Joe's deck, like the blue-black deck is not a flash in the pan. The blue-black Lurrus Saga deck is definitely playable and was very widely played this weekend. I don't know if Joe's version with Dark Confidants and stuff is better or worse, or people will actually adapt that deck. I don't think people will play that deck, mostly because it didn't win an online tournament, and people are just not likely to copy a paper tournament at all. So I don't even know if I'm supposed to play this land. I think I might hold it as extra brainstorm cards. But like I said, I think the blue-black deck needs to be retooled if there's going to be this much Oath running around. I don't exactly know the cards you'd play to make that matchup better. I personally think the deck probably is supposed to be either blue-white or like splashing white or something. The white cards you gain are just so much more powerful for sideboards. But of course, the white cards that you would want to play in that deck kind of are bad in the mirror because of Bowmaster, like playing Cathar Commando or Sam or something. Right. Absolutely agree. The Dark Confidant is good in a blue mirrors, but I think the Lurrus deck is already winning the blue mirrors, so there's like kind of no reason to make that matchup better. Yeah, you could maybe play Deathrite Shaman and make it more colors. It's not like a great Deathrite Shaman deck, but it's definitely playable. I have a lot of things happening here. I mean, I still think I'm just slamming here. If they want to unlock their Lotus, do we really even care? Oh, they have a swords on my Mox. They're playing white? Okay. I thought they were just bringing in this Caracas. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm like I probably won't put in a lot of effort to figure out how you make your blue white black deck better, just because it's not the deck I want to be playing. But I do think you have options. I think a lot of vintage decks have a lot of options when it comes to that kind of thing. All right, well I'm just going to try to put a Sphinx in play, seeing as my opponent just used Swords to Plowshares on my Mox. I should have fetched before I played my Mana Crypt in case they had Vigor. Slight misplay. Yeah, I'm not confident that Bowmaster is good, but I don't think it's bad either, if that makes sense. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to Elk the Mox? That can't be right. Or Elk the Lotus? Maybe. The thing is, what Sam does for that deck is accentuates the land plan, right? Or maybe not accentuates, but like build. What word am I looking for here? Like builds on it. It enhances the Sam is. I think the strongest part of the Lurrus deck is Wasteland, and if you make your Lurrus deck better against you make your Lurrus deck your Wasteland plan better by having Sam, right? Not only that, but Sam does rebuy like Saga and Bobble and Lotus and that kind of thing. So wait, I don't actually care about this thing, do I? No, I don't care about this at all. Why am I doing that? But yeah, X1's into Bowman. Like that's exactly the conundrum that I don't have like a perfect answer for. Oh, I guess I care because I can't attack. But I mean, they're never getting another turn with this thing, right? Because they're just going to get hit by a Sphinx. Wait, they're just gonna die, right? 6, 9. All right, whatever. This like exposes me to, I don't know, some kind of pump spell or something. I should have done it in response, but I was just like not thinking about that. I'm pretty sure I'm just looking to kill my opponent here. Oh, I guess they have a Vigor or something. A Bolt or something. What's happening? Oh, a Nature's Claim. Okay. I will just... I guess I can gain more life by letting this happen than by activating my food token. Okay. Noted. All right, so I will not be killing my opponent this turn. I will instead be killing their Boo and attacking them. I was just like, oh, okay, so I'll sack my food. And then I'm like, wait a second. I don't need to do that. So we played a turn 1 Oko and tinkered a Sphinx versus the Naya deck is a pretty good place to be. All right, not bad. Okay, round 2, we're up against Nathan. Nathan typically plays combo decks. My deck has a negation, mana, and a top. I'm once again going to go the opposite of what I said in round 1. I'm going to keep this hand. I think that this hand has counter magic, which is important against decks that Nathan is going to play, and it has the mana to find a payoff on turn 2 using top. So yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like vintage changes every couple weeks. So there's a lot of time for the format to change before Pittsburgh. Mold to 6, Grim Monolith. Sapphire. Maybe I'm supposed to counter Sapphire because they could PO on my upkeep. But I have the negation for the ring. So I can tinker? That seems good. Okay, it's not great. That's good. Traxa. Force. Demonic. Orchard. Atraxa is my blue card. Broken. All right, so now I have Force backup and a Demonic Tutor. Like, this game is over. And a Force on top. All right, cool. Citadel, this deck is not the best Citadel deck, but your deck doesn't need to be the best Citadel deck. It just has to put the Citadel in play. Wild. Very vindicated for my keep, though. Well, there's definitely something to your Citadel deck being better. Like, I've watched so many, like, Initiative Tinker and Esper Saga decks, like, put Citadels in play and lose. And, like, clearly because of the deck building. But it doesn't mean they shouldn't be playing Citadel. Yo, thanks for the sub, Jerry. Appreciate it. Ancestral Recall, draw 3. No. All right, so we're playing against Jewel or something like Jewel. We're going to bring in Mind Break Trap, Negation, Vigor. Are we going to bring in Flux? This is a matchup where I think Vigor is probably better than Flux, but maybe with the one ring, that's no longer the case, actually. Well, I think we should try it. Typically, I don't like bringing in Flux against PO decks, but I wouldn't consider this to be a typical PO deck because it's Jewel. What do we even not want? I guess we can trim an island in this scenario. We can probably trim a Flusterstorms in this scenario. We can probably trim Mental Misstep in this scenario. And then we need to keep all of our Okos for rings. And then what? Maybe we just don't want Strip Mine. It's like not enough to hit Saga or Workshop or something. I don't know, it doesn't sound right to me. I'm not sure what my 5th cut looks like here. I'm not sure. Oh, we could trim some show and tells for sure. We should definitely trim some show and tells. Do I want to trim more show and tells over flusters? Not really. You don't really want to be showing telling against Jewel, who has both, you know, they have like meta, they have meta. I don't know if Metamorph works exactly with show and tell. I always have to re-ask myself that one. But they have Jewels, they have Citadels, they have, you know, lots of good stuff. But I mean, you know, simply, you know, there are good things to put in. I'll trim a show and tell and go like this without counter magic. Jerry asked, would I be able to donate to play a budget deck? So yeah, I have donation deck lists on my Patreon. I'm not 100% sure about if I would play a budget deck. Why don't you message me somewhere like Discord or Twitter, Jerry, with your list, so I can let you know beforehand. Just because I don't really like the idea of playing budget decks or like non-powered decks. I'm not like super thrilled about that idea, so I'll have to see. This hand has a force against Jewel, so we're gonna keep it. But I'll definitely, of course, entertain the idea, so. We'll see what you have in mind. Noting we don't have an Orchard here for our Oath. An opponent's not likely to play a creature. And we also don't have an artifact for our Tinker. But like, I think the main thing you need to do is have Force of Will. So from there, you can build your game plan. Flux. Interesting. All right. So if my opponent does make creatures with Saga, we have an Oath. Of course, we can play the Oath before they make creatures, and they can make then have the choice of whether they want to make creatures or not. like it seems like they're banking on making creatures. So there's a world where I don't play an Oath and let them make creatures first. There'll be have a choice I need to make here. If they have a cage in their deck, they can instead, make creatures and then play a cage. Don't know if there'll be a cage in the Tinker deck, though. Probe lets us see what's going on. So they have Force backup and a Ring in hand. I think... So the hand was definitely a hand I would mulligan against an unknown opponent, maybe. But against Jewel, you just have to keep a hand with Force of Will. So your 7-card hand having, like, okay cards and Force of Will is just enough. So they're going to be able to get the mana for the ring and have Counterspell backup. But then we can flux them. We're not going to have time to play an Oath next turn because we're going to play a Flux. So I'm just going to play the Oath now. Agreed. Like, our play is likely Force pitch Tinker on their ring to drain them out of... I guess we don't have to drain them out of Force cards. But our next play is going to be Flux against their Jet ring board. Don't know if that's good enough. I think it might be, but we'll see. Certainly Vigor is better here. We did have a lot of green cards in hand. All right, we're making a token anyways. That makes me think there's a cage coming. Cage is really good here. But I do have a Flux coming, so... So they're going to go for a cage with Force backup, and I have Flux with Force backup. That's pretty good for us. All right. Nice. I don't think I would normally play a cage in Jewel's board, but, Nathan is a player who is very cognizant of the data. So, I think that's a pretty nice little shift. Do I want to play an Orchard? So they can pay for what? One thing? All right, I'll just play an Orchard then. Yeah, this Flux is sick. It's so good here. Yep. I make some nice choices in deck building, and here I felt pretty good. I do think that Vigor likely wins the game as well, but this one, like, lights out wins the game. So, very nice. Okay, round 3, Oath, maybe against Blue-Black Lurrus. Let's see. Man, these hands have been so strong. Nope, we're not against Lurrus. Yeah, I would definitely recommend Elvish Spirit Guide over Chrome Mox, but I just don't know if Spirit Guide is the way. Don't know. This hand is great for anyone keeping track at home. We have turn 1 Oath off of, like, Sapphire Emerald, so we don't even show them Orchard. And then it's just crazy good. I don't know. It's hard to draw up hands that are, like, better than this kind of hand. I guess theoretically we could play around Mindbreak Trap by going Emerald, Orchard, Oath. Is that something we want to do? We don't play around Force Mindbreak Trap, obviously. I don't know the value of playing around Mindbreak Trap versus the value of not showing them Orchard. So like that's what we're weighing here, right? We're weighing like the value of them like not knowing about Orchard, so maybe letting Oath resolve versus the value of playing around Mindbreak Trap singly, just Mindbreak Trap in game one. I think I'm leaning towards Mox Oath. Then the next question is, if this all resolves, do I play a Sensei Stop with the Orchard, or do I just hold the Orchard activation? I think I just don't play the top. What do I need this top for? Like the other thing that you're playing is if you go Orchard Mox Oath, then you are making the token on there, and they have the ability to like manipulate the token on their turn at sorcery speed, right? There's that as well. Lorien revealed. Underground Sea. Yeah, I mean, that sounds good to me. So what is going on my opponent's side? Are they Beseech? Are they just Tinker? They're definitely dead. I agree with that statement. Our turn looks like put Atraxa on the table, draw a bunch of cards, play Oko, turn off their Emerald or their Pearl. Maybe find Strip Mine. Lotus Petal. Okay. They might have a Swords, I guess. No? All right. Okay. Traxa. Lost 2 Okos on that one. I have Atraxa, Orchard. No, Atraxa, Strip Mine. I like that. Strip Mine, Time Walk, Force, Petal. Yeah. The Strip Mine, I don't know, man. I like the Strip Mine a lot as well. Oh, I should have played a land to play around Flusterstorm. Justin. Should have. Yeah, it's fine. So yeah, I want to, I guess, playing the land, and yeah, I should just play this land to play around Flusterstorm and then cast Time Walk. Then I don't even have to strip mine them yet. I go to my next turn. I play Oko. I strip mine them. I turn off as much mana as I can. I have multiple forces. I probably, how many Atraxas have I used? 2. It's likely I even oath out another Atraxa here just to try to get another piece of counter magic. But yeah, we're just super ahead. That's true. I could beat Fluster by forcing. I don't think I would. I think I like take the Fluster plus Lotus Petal and just strip mine them, and they're still lost, right? I did do that once in the tournament. I think the match versus Joe where I flashed, he flustered and I forced one copy and paid for the other copy. That came up at least once. All right, so my opponent is on some kind of Lorien blue-black deck that doesn't have Lurrus. I think that makes me interested in bringing in Vigor and maybe bringing in Negation and Trap. I don't know if we want Flux yet. I don't know if we want Karakas yet. I don't think I'm bringing in Karakas just for, like, blue-black with Lurrus, but I guess there's no Lurrus, so we don't even know what's in their deck. Yeah, let's just bring in Vigor, Negation, Trap for now. And then we'll take out Island, Mystical. How am I doing this? Island, Mystical, Show. Is Show worse than Strip Mine against like a Saga deck? Maybe third Oko. We'll trim an Oko, and we'll trim a Show, and we'll trim Mystical Island. Yeah, that seems fine. I don't mind that. So our hand is all counter spells, no mana. All right, well, that's an easy mulligan. Not hard. Again. I wish I knew if they were on Beseech or not. This is actually a hand I would keep if I 100% knew they were on Beseech. But I wouldn't keep against any other deck with the information that I know. Like, I don't want to keep this hand against Esper Saga or Grixis Saga or Breach or Initiative Tinker, or I guess you could keep it against Pio. But do we think they're on Beseech? I do think they're on Beseech. We'll keep it. Underground Sea. Cycle 2 Lorians. All right. Okay. That's it. Okay. Ancestral? No ancestral. This holds up Besiege You. It's kind of nice. All right, I mean, I am a super controlling hand, which is not the avenue I like to take when playing this deck, but if you do see a deck that's going to be like hyper combo, and our opponent has tutored double Underground Sea, which makes it unlikely they're playing Esper or Grixis, this is definitely a thing you can do. Be interested to see how this game plays out. Yo, what's up, Bill? Welcome back. Almost at 3 years. All right, so all the C's are gone. 5 cards in hand. Did not lose the crypt flip. Okay. Oath. Interesting. Don't see a compelling reason to play out Oath without an Orchard. It is a pitch card to Vigor, so by holding it in hand, we actually have Besiege You, Fluster, Force, and Force. So I'm going to hold up everything. I don't think it's worth it to Besiege You the Mana Crypt to like help play around Tinker or Beseech. Bowmaster. Okay. So they're on wheels. This is actually good for us because now the Oath is turned on. They probably would not have played this Bowmaster if I had played the Oath. So now I feel really, really good about this game. I'm just going to hold up all my counters and stuff on this turn. And then... Okay. Are we interested in just flustering this Vamp or giving them what they want? What would happen here? I guess they could theoretically get a Twister with Fluster backup, even if we win that. But if they just like have a Twister in hand already, then that would be really bad. I think we just let them Vamp. Besiege You? I'm not convinced Besiege You is the play because it means my Flusterstorm is not as good. I appreciate it. But if they do Twister, like over a Twister or something, Besiege You is definitely a good hit here. I guess that's not that good of a hit. Well, I guess it is because if they get a land. They probably don't have another land if they cycled both Lorians. Yeah, but if we're assuming they're getting a Twister probably. Well, it means that if they fluster back, we can't pay, right? But I guess they're unlikely to fluster back if we Besiege You, so... Beseiju is a May. They could, of course, keep the tower on top, and if the card on top is like, I don't know, Ancestral or something. Well, if we had a Fluster and we fluster their Fluster, we would like be winning the war, right? And if we have extra mana. All right, so my opponent we did blank our opponent's Vampiric Tutor with a Beseiju. I'm not going to Vigor this. I want to play my Oath. All right, so like, aren't I now losing this because I don't have the mana to Fluster? Am I wrong? Like, if I had extra mana up when I Fluster here, they can't Fluster back, right? Why? Because they'll have extra mana, possibly. God damn it. So what did they? So they tutored and they fetched and they just had a Twister, so they were getting like a Fluster or something off of the Vamp. All right, so we're getting a fresh 7. So it was definitely, we're just vigoring this. I don't think we're winning this game. We're taking what, 9 and 7? All right. I'm not really convinced that Beseiju play was correct. All right, so theoretically, we can draw an Atraxa off the top. Not draw an Atraxa off the top. All right, game 3, Breacher Wheels. They had to draw Saga for turn for that to work. I don't know. Definitely don't want Flux. I guess the choice is, do I want to have access to some Dismembers here? I don't really think so. No, should run this back. Surprised they went like double UC off of Lorien if they had a red splash, but it's probably just like a red splash just for wheel, right? So let's say they went for Fluster, right? And they had UC, Mana Crypt, and they had Force Blue card Twister. Then they cast Twister. I Fluster. They can't Fluster back because I have open mana. 2 open mana. And then they can't force back. So I'm winning, right? Am I wrong? Like, why can they pay? They have one mana. They don't have 3 lands. They have a blue black land, Mana Crypt. They have 1 mana. They don't get Saga. They get their Vamp target. I'm pretty sure my line was better, but I don't know. Show and Tell, Vigor, Time Walk, Orchard, no play. Don't think this is good enough. I want something better than this. I don't think like Time Walking into Show and Tell with nothing is good enough. Just look at this. Yeah, this is much better. I guess the question here is, are we just blind Ancestraling on their upkeep? I think the answer is yes. Ancestral gets worse the longer it's in my hand against the Bowmaster deck. I don't think we have the luxury to wait around and get protection with this. I'm just going to shift this Ancestral to my face. Okay. It's pretty good. Why do you keep saying the opponent is untapping with 5 mana? You don't know they have 5 mana. In fact, they're likely not to have 5 mana. I'm assuming they have 4 mana, to be honest. I think they're more likely to have 4 mana than 5. They still force Fluster one copy and pay for the other? That's true. Yeah, but we gave them an unknown draw with Beseiju. I guess we're just losing if they have Fluster on top. I guess we're just losing. Fluster is just never good enough because of Force. Cage. Well, I was thinking we were going to tinker, so... Though I guess we're not going to tinker if... I gotta think about this game now. Cast Vigor on... I mean, I don't know if we're winning that game if we're casting Vigor, pitching Oath. Tinker does stop... Cage does stop Tinker Citadel. It doesn't stop you from putting the Citadel into play, but it will not let you cast any spells off the top of your library. I mean, I think it's, like, reasonable to think if we shuffle their library, they won't have a combo kill. Like, they theoretically could have been vamping for the Twister, right? We don't know what's on top of our library, no. I'm going to force this pitching show. I think I'm interested in just tinkering. Okay, well, this makes my life easy. I'm just going to Fluster back, and then if we draw a blue card, we have Tinker with Force backup. Yeah, so that'll go up on... The replays will go up on YouTube this week sometime. I have a feature match in round 1. I do commentary in rounds 5 and 6, and then I have semifinals and finals. So there were some pretty cool matches in the other rounds as well. All right, so if I can draw a blue card off the top, this is great for me. If I don't draw a blue card, I guess it just doesn't matter. We just do the thing. That's a blue card. Ding, ding, ding. Though I guess if I had Show and Tell instead of Tinker, there's some upsides. Though show and tell is obviously symmetrical, so. Citadel. Oh, you're 9 of 12 in the vintage prelim? People should join. Immediately brick on land. Okay. Well, Trax is definitely the best creature in the game for sure. Yeah, there's a prelim right now. If anyone wants to chat, wants to play it. I'm a little surprised it has so many people. But I needed to do it with my my recap video, so this was a little bit of a longer stream. Nah, man. Lurrus got nerfed. Sorry, friend. All right, Soul Ring. That one's fine. What is this? Demonic. I think Demonic is also fine. Does this mean they have like a second cage, maybe? See what happens with this. Maybe this is just Black Lotus and I'll feel silly. Black Lotus double spell. Tinker with Flusterstorm backup or something. Yeah, I guess that's true. But I mean, giving them a Lotus is worse, right? Because they can have like Yagwil or... It's definitely worse to like let them cast the Lotus. Prelim, people, battle, vintage. I can tweet about it. Terabad, tweet about it. I'll retweet. We forcing Time Walk? I think we have to because a possible second cage. Like I said, I kind of wish we had counter Demonic Tutor, but I'm not 100% sure it's easy counter. Oh, hey, look. Traxa. Man, our Citadel has been so good to us today. Oath. Vamp for Time Walk. Probe is a sorcery. Beseiju killing the Saga. Done. Oh, never mind. Strip your Saga. Turn off your Soul Ring. Oh man. I guess we don't have to do this yet. Oh, hey, look, a Time Walk. Now they have a Shieldred and a Lorien revealed. None of these have summoning. These all have summoning sickness, right? How can I finish this game with certainty? Oh, I could stand up. Can I stand this up instead? No, I tinkered this out this turn, right? No, it's been waiting around a turn. So if I stand up Citadel, attack them to 17, it doesn't help me. That doesn't help me. Can I vamp for anything? I don't have Yagwil in my deck. I can like vamp for Vigor, I guess, but all right, whatever. I'm just gonna plus this, go to my next turn. Attack for 10. I don't know. Nothing matters. As long as I have enough life total, it's fine. Oh, the stream decker's wrong? Oh, I must have edited it manually. My bad. I thought I gave the most recent oath list. Oh, no. No, there's a Caracas in there. Oh, there's a Yoggle. Oh, the strip mine was the last change. My bad, my bad, my bad. I thought I gave you the most recent list, but apparently I did not. All right. Yes, that is a key difference. I do love Yoggle and Oath, but it is a little clunky. The reason I didn't play real power at BCD because I did not want to travel with my power when I didn't need to travel with my power. I do like Yoggle and Oath, and I still like Yoggle and Oath, but I just like needed to find places to cut cards, and that was the one that made the most sense to me. Yoggle and Narset. So here I think I just like strip mine their Saga, attack for 7, turn their Soul Ring into an Elk. Vamp for, I don't know. Like all of these things win the game, right? It's like not a huge use in mulling over it. I can always vamp for a counter spell if I need one. I guess I could technically, in my upkeep, vamp for an Atraxa, draw Atraxa, and then flash off the top of the library to get a bunch of extra cards. Maybe I should do that. Because vamp only costs me, go down to 3, go up to 10. Oh, you're right, vamp shuffles. Damn, there's no way I can do that. All right, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna hold the vamp and attack and turn off their land and their artifact, and that's probably it. Yeah, maybe it's better to just attack for 10. I mean, maybe we can get lethal attack here if we stand up, attack for 10, and find enough Moxen. We just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We just need 4 things. We have an oath, so we need 3 things. I think there's a world where we get 20 damage this turn. And I have a Beseiju, so it's not even like it's bad for this Soul Ring to live. All right, my opponent was just let me do the thing. So if we draw Flash and we won't be able to, I guess we technically could Atraxa after we attack. That would give us, we could Flash Atraxa after we, oh no, we can't Flash Atraxa, we have to take 7 life. Oh yeah, I'm just trying to win the game immediately. I think there's a way. All we need to really do is find a bunch of permanents and put them into play. But yeah, we're going to win this game as well. Okay, here we go. Round 4, 3-0. We have 3 off-color Moxen that don't cast Oko. However, we could definitely time walk into turn 1, quote-unquote, Oko. Is that actually good enough versus a majority of decks? I kind of think the answer is no. So I'm probably going to mulligan this hand. Yeah, I don't like the look of this hand. I'm more interested in finding something better. Hey, look, something better. I think we can get rid of a land in this situation and give ourselves some other options. My opponent has revealed Chancellor of the Annex. That's pretty good here. Kind of wish I had my first hand back. Thalia? Yeah. Oh, never mind. That was a pretty good draw. Okay. So we can play. Maybe we don't play it. Maybe we just go Misty Go. On the next turn, we play it and pay. Play it and pay. It's so slow, right? So if this turn we play Island Ruby, get it countered. On the next turn, we still can't even play like a time walk or something anyways. So I don't think it hurts us to wait anyways. So I think we just wait. Wow. Okay. Lorian maybe? Oh. Shite. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's better for us than our opponent playing a initiative creature right now, and it's better for us than opponent playing an Archon. Okay, Oath, no land. Okay. Strip. Okay, so if I go strip mine, play Emerald, play Ruby, untap, I have 5 mana. If they had a Seasoned Dungeoneer, could they have played it? No. That's a reason to possibly strip mine them, but probably not a good enough reason. Okay, I kind of just have to hope they have a bunch of Chancellors in their hand or something. I don't know. Okay, I don't know if that's fast enough. So we do have a time walk. 3, 6, 8, 10, 11. Oh, or is it we're just fast enough if they have no more initiative creatures? Oh, actually I drew okay. So I can go Trop, Oath, take 3, 6, 8, 10, go to 2. As long as they don't have another initiative creature, we're fine. And then we time walk off of it with Atraxa. Have to kind of hope they don't have a Solitude. Okay. Oh, they also have to not have a Lorian, I guess. A Loran, not a Lorian. So if they don't have a Lorian, do they lost well looking for one? If they didn't have a lethal here, they could forego Forge and go Lost Well. Oh no, then they can't trap then, so they can't ever go Lost Well, really. They know about Time Walk from the Peacekeeper. They have Hardcast Solitude. I guess I can strip mine them off of Hardcast Solitude. They just have another freaking adventure. Damn it. Really close. Damn. Okay. A good hand from them. Caracas, Sphinx, Sarah, Dismember. I don't think it was like super above average, but it was a good hand for sure. I did the math and I didn't think it was good, but that could be wrong too, so. Cluster, misstep, negation, probe, I guess. Yeah, it looks fine. Oh, wait, we don't need this top because we get to keep probe. I don't think we want misstep for swords. It's fine. Wow, that's an unfortunate hand, isn't it? We just have the natural underground sea. Have to draw land, forcing. Yeah, this is not it. I think we just go next one. That's not very good either. Guess we'll go 6. Okay. Keep. So I can bottom. I can bottom Brainstorm Caracas and go Island Petal Flash, which is probably better than going Oath on turn 1. Maybe? If I go Oath on turn 1, they can't play any creatures except for Lauren and Containment Priest, and I don't have the ability to Flash Atraxa unless I draw land. I think that's fine, though. I'm leaning towards just flashing here. Doing it now for Moxen. So I drew Sarah's Emissary, Jet, Show and Tell, Mystical, and Orchard, Tropical, or Underground Sea, or Besiege You. I guess the answer is just Tropical. Don't need an Orchard. But I guess, because I have Black Mana off of Jet. I have Oath and Show and Tell. So Show and Tell Emissary on creature is probably good enough. Don't think I'm going to need an Orchard. 5 lands in that. Okay. Flash Attracts is my favorite part of the deck by a large amount. It was something cool. I guess if they go Archon here, it's kind of bad for us. Could we have made that better, though? I don't really think we could have made that better, right? None of our lands are good against Archon. And we didn't have a choice in Moxen, so I don't think it mattered. Like, we just are pretty weak against Archon here. Yeah. So I can't Mystical for a land, but I could Mystical for Dismember. Can't cast it this turn, but we can hold our land drop so that we can probably play our card next turn. We could also Mystical for Ancestral. We could Mystical. Could just not Mystical. Draw naturally, play a tap land. I don't think I like that. I think I like Mystical Dismember Hold Land. Wait, they didn't put anything on this Chrome box? It's interesting. Anything better? I guess you could technically Mystical for Time Walk and go. That doesn't actually beat Wasteland. All right, we'll do Mystical Dismember and pass. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Now the biggest punish here is what, second Archon? Not much we can really do about that. We would just probably not even Dismember because of the life loss, and then we would just play our Tropical and White Plume. Okay, so we have end of turn. All right, end step. End of turn, dismember this Archon so they can't play any more spells this turn. And then untap, show and tell in a Sour's Emissary and hope they don't have swords. Well, yeah, Archon's the best card in the deck for sure. Yeah, I think so too. I think that was a strong line. Does that change anything? No reason not to play this first in case they like Thalia or something. I guess we could technically hold our trop even longer. All right, so we just have to hope they don't have Swords to Plowshares. I will take 5 if they go down Forge Trap, Lostwell. Looks like they're going to go look for swords. I'd love to be able to play this Oath this turn as well. Just trying to think about this trop. Is it still better to hold this trop? I guess there's like kind of no way. I guess they could theoretically play Lauren and Wasteland. But they could also... What did they do? They bottomed. I'm going to hold it. I don't know if that's right, though. This thing still gets to explore, right? We do take the initiative next turn, and they can't get it back without playing another initiative person, so... Yeah, I mean, I think they're drawing to just like initiative or swords. Wow. They certainly are going down the path. I guess I don't have another basic to get anyways. I should just use my tropical island because it's more easy to interact with, I guess. I don't think swords loses, right? They attack for like 1,000,000 and then they throne. Yeah, I mean, this is like the exact reason why I'm playing Sarah's Emissaries in my board. This match is good for Oath, but it's not like unlosable good. Now I have to consider if I want to play things like Mindbreak Trap or Negation on the draw. Like, I don't think the third Oko is that good. Like, Oko itself isn't even that great in the matchup. It's just a little slow. Don't think Probe is that good. Well, what you can do is you can negate their mana, and that gives you a turn to, like, deploy Oath or Show and Tell. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be bringing in traps and negations here. I think I'm just going to be taking out Oko Probe. I think that's how I want to play this. Chat, Scott, I would bring in trap but not negation, and I would bring in negation but not trap. All right, I will take what both of you are saying into consideration and bring in both. Oko is good versus creatures. It's just hard to cast and slow against this exact creature deck. I think this hand is not good. I don't like this hand very much. Doesn't even have like a great show and tell creature. Have to like bank on Ancestral. You can't really bank on Ancestral if they have like a Chancellor or a Thalia draw. I'm just gonna mulligan this hand. Yes, I will mulligan the hand that has Ancestral and Time Walk in it. Crazy world we live in. Sand has no mana. Not great. Well, they kept their 6. Let's mulligan this. All right. I could just never cast any of these spells, but I think at 5, it doesn't get much better. Like, this is just put C tutor on the bottom, keep fetch, fetch, and hope it works. Can I get a better 4? What are you mysticaling for? Like, what's the point of mystical? What does mystical do? Yeah, but you're never casting those, right? I don't think I'm casting demonic either, for what it's worth. But I don't think 4 lands Oath is right. I can demonic for those cards too, I guess. I guess if they like tax me on turn 2, I could mystical and play something that is not getting taxed. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm casting either of them, but I also don't think they're worse than a 4th land. All right. You kind of sold me. Oh, I can also throw mystical into Chancellor. That's something we did not consider, but that might be the best part about it. Not if they Thalia me, though. Good God. Mercy? Oh! Pain? Suffering? We are very far from an Oath of Druids. We have to hope they have just no creatures. But they didn't have any lands, so I kind of doubt they have no creatures. God, it's so good. These hands have been so good. All right. Chancellor backed up. Turn 1 Thalia, turn 2 Plume. I got nothing to show for it. I could draw a Moxen this turn. Maybe. How's that help me? I kind of think it doesn't. No, it does, because it lets me play. So if I fetch Island and play Trop, kind of don't want to fetch Island, right? Well, I can't. I have to, if I want to resolve the Jet, I need to fetch 2 things. So maybe I just fetch a Trop, play a Trop. I guess we could just get Mystical countered with 2 fetches and go triple land. So I'm taking 16 down to 14, down to 11, down to 9. No, I'm just dead, aren't I? Because if I fetch twice, I'm at 16, and I'm taking 5 down to 11 plus 2 down to 9. And then on the next turn, I'm taking 7 down to 2 and getting trapped. It's just too late. Right? So if I mystical for Dismember, that's not even close to good enough. I have to draw like I think I have no outs. I think I'm deterministically lost. Holy shit. I guess theoretically, if they had put the counters on Thalia, I could have drawn a Caracas. So maybe that's my out. My out is top deck Caracas. Caracas, bounce Thalia, play Oath. 16. No, it's still I'm still getting lethaled by trap. No, I actually just can't have nothing here. I just can't beat this. Wow. I would have to have Virtue's Ruin in my deck. If I had Virtue's Ruin in my deck, I could get Mystical countered, top deck Virtues. No, I can't cast Virtue's Ruin. It costs 4 mana. I don't know how I was ever beating this hand. I don't know. I can't even think of a combination of cards that actually beats my opponent's hand. I guess trap plus force of will, where I force of will and then trap and then like it has to be like a 7-card hand with multiple forces. Wow. That's kind of wild. Play draw. Kind of a problem. Need to win that game 1. They have a hard cast Solitude as well. Yeah, I mean, you have super lethal. Now you have super lethal. Yeah, I mean, they had an uncounterable turn 1 Thalia, and then my hand didn't contain a bunch of Moxen, so I wasn't able to deploy an Oath. And then they have the quick old initiative clock. Yeah, all right, wow, okay. Brutal. Yeah, without Chancellor... It's still not good for us without Chancellor, right? Our hand was just not that good against mono, or like on the draw with multi 5. All right, here we go. 5th and final round against a very powerful wizard. Going to probably be revealing a Lurrus and playing Dark Confidants. All right, what do I have? I have turn 1 show and tell. No fluster backup. And then if I draw a land, I have another show and tell. I mean, this is what we came here for, right? This looks within range. A land here would have been sick. It's like that. I haven't exhausted the luck tank yet. The quote for ego is from a YouTube comment from one of my last videos. I thought it was a hilarious comment. All right, I'm gonna take another Atraxa, an Oath of Druids, a Misty Rainforest, a Brainstorm, and a Show and Tell, or do I want a Mystical and a Show and Tell? Oh my god, I get to play my land and hold up. Yeah, I'll just take the Brainstorm. It's fine. All right, I will hold up Flusterstorm, I guess. My opponent's deck should not be able to beat a Resolved Atraxa, so we should be fine. Ooh, the Tolarian Academy has been added back into the deck. Lorien, draw 3. Nah, we'll just Flusterstorm it. Seems like fun. Oh, was it? I didn't look too close. I do think I like Tolarian Academy in the Lurrus Lorien deck. I think it makes a lot of sense when you're trying to cast Lorien and put Lurrus into your hand, that kind of thing. I think it's good, especially when you're not playing like 3 colors. Think I am just going to show and tell another Atraxa and look for some like forces. I guess I technically could brainstorm, but whatever. Three mana, put show, Oko, Citadel, Ancestral, Trop into hand. Done. Don't actually think I want to cast Ancestral into like Bowmaster on the next turn. I don't know. Whatever. I'll just Ancestral in response. How about that? Oh. Sure. Opponent said it could be anyone's game, and I said we could be playing game 2 right now. Force pitching force to draw off Lauren. All right, sure. Opponent's kind of a play it out guy. So we can play an Oko and put them to 1. I don't know. Should we show and tell a Citadel? Opponent says they have a chance. So I don't know what that means. Maybe they have Vault Key, Time Walk, something. I haven't found any forces yet. So do I strip mine the Saga? Probably. I don't think I'm putting Citadel into play. I think I'm just gonna turn off Soul Ring and strip mine their Saga. That's the reason I put a second Atraxa into play, is so I could draw some Force of Wills. I just didn't draw any. I only looked at 20 cards, you know. It's fine. I'm not actually complaining. We obviously were very lucky to jam our turn 1 show and have it resolve. So I turned off a lot of my opponent's mana by taking the Soul Ring into an Elk, and I turned off the ability for them to like find a Vault Key with Saga, so they have, 3 mana now, and I feel like that's probably good enough. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is this going to be repeal for 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Did they have enough to repeal if I hadn't gotten rid of the Soul Ring? Maybe I should have hit this Tolarian Academy. I don't think they have Vault Key in their deck, for what it's worth. Their deck this weekend did not have Vault Key. I think they might have been thinking about repeal for 8 mana. Demonic. Should I brainstorm now? Does it matter? No, drown in the lock. I love it. I forgot. That was their answer. Yeah, they have drown in the lock on my Atraxa. I have another oath coming, though. I love it. We did have the oath and the show and tell following up. Also had repeal. All right, so sideboarding against a blue-black Lurrus deck. We are kind of already boarded for this matchup, but they don't really have any good spells in their deck, so negation is usually not very good. Could just bring negation for Caracas. Don't really think I care about Vigor either, because I know they're on Volt. I mean, maybe Vigor just because it's Sagas and oh, I know they have cages actually, so Vigor definitely comes in. So Strip Mine Island are probably both staying. Maybe it's like Mystical Negation. Oko looks good. Citadel looks good. Show looks good. Maybe it is Strip still. I mean, maybe we don't bring in Caracas because it's just bounce my own Atraxas and hit Lurrus. Yeah, maybe we just don't need Caracas and it's just Vigors in for negations and tutors. So, mystical tutor, slow tutor. Yeah, that's probably fine. They're not going to have like a lot of... It's not like they're a Swords to Plowshare deck where it gets really good to like Caracas back my own Atraxa. The last time we checked, they had 1 Feed the Swarm in the sideboard and 2 cages. Okay, yeah, we're going to battle with this. For sure. I feel like we've drawn well above average tonight. All right, so they have turn 1 Bowmaster or Bob. Are they going to play the Bob? This is a hard choice here. I think I like Force Pitch Misstep, Orchard Ancestral, or draw Moxen and then have Force back up. No, I kind of want to keep Misstep for like a cage. Maybe just Force Pitch Force on this bomb. Yeah, I think the way my hand is set up, I think I just want to counter the bomb. No, I don't really like that idea. I don't want to run into Spell Pierce and Fluster, so I'm just going to cast Ancestral here. If it gets negated, I think that's fine. Didn't draw a land, which is not ideal. Also, don't have any forces anymore. I think you probably underestimate how good the Bob is in that exact spot. I think it looks extremely good, especially given my hand. Strip Mine. Wow. Are we going to Strip Mine after I Ancestraled? All right. Black Lotus. Lotus Strand's pretty good too. Definitely like holding up Flusterstorm, Misstep, rather than like play top. I don't think the top matters in this situation. Saga Gamer. Do I Vigor in response? No, I don't think so. Another Bob. All right, well, we can't counter that one. All right, well, really looking for that land off the top here. Pedal. All right. Oh, if they have force backup right now, it's pretty damn good, right? I think I get a non-basic. Oh, maybe I can just get away with Island here. All right. I didn't get to have Flusterstorm backup for that oath, but it's still pretty good. Well, the problem is if, like, I guess I don't have another oath to cast anyways. So this is Bob. Bob reveals a negation. I have coverage for a cage and for time walk into cage. Don't have coverage for repeal, which is maybe a reason to hit the saga on upkeep. Yeah, I like holding everything. We'll get our time walk negated or whatever, and it's fine. Like, we got the Atraxa into play. Oh, we have 7 cards left in our deck. How did that happen? All right. Well, so we see our whole deck. That's not good. So I think we take Force, Orchard, and Time Walk. If we take Force and Orchard, and then leave all of the rest of the cards. If we draw, yeah, I think we take Force and Orchard, and we need to hit them 3 times. We go to 5 cards, we go to 4 cards. We go to 3 cards on the first draw, down to 10, 2 cards, down to 3, 1 card. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I hope we don't get Ancestral targeted on us. That would be awkward. Guess we have a misstep for that. All right, so there's negation pitching Force of Will. Should I just fluster here? Yeah, looks like fluster here. Okay. So we have 4 cards in our deck. We have a force in our hand and maybe another force coming. Is there another blue card or are we out of other blue cards? Well, we need the time walk, or do we have one extra turn to give? Like, I'm not vigoring, right? They have an active Bob. I guess they can get a skull clamp for these spirit tokens. That's kind of funny. So I can top and find another blue card here if I need to. So the constructs don't matter. The question is, I guess if we should put a stop in there, I guess there's nowhere we can put a stop where we can kill the skull clamp. Should we just vigor? We probably should just vigor right now. We don't have to get an oath anymore. In which case we have force and misstep already. We have Atraxas for more blue cards. Like, the only way this goes, like, south is if they clamp and, like, draw perfects. But they could also get a Black Lotus. Yeah, I'm going to Vigor right now. It's like Clamp and Black Lotus and combinations of the cards that I'm worried about. I know I have, what, 2 Atraxas in my 3 cards here? So there's a world where I can, like, spin, draw, get a Atraxa, draw another Atraxa next turn. They hit a Wasteland off Bob, so they're not going to die immediately. Weird game, huh? The fact that my Atraxas, I had 3 Atraxas in the bottom 8 made this game kind of weird, where I think it would be just like a very clean win if I had Atraxas anywhere else. Needle. Okay, so I'm just going to do spin top, hold priority, activate top. Oh, no. I needed to spin. I guess I can still do this. So I can spin again. That way I make sure I draw an Atraxa, and then I spin my top to the way and get another Atraxa next turn. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Oh, I have all blue cards. So I didn't need to do this extra spin. Okay. Duh. All right, so I draw an Atraxa, and then I spin this top to the bottom. And I just draw another blue card next turn. Okay. And then this needle doesn't matter. Weird game. I was kind of lucky to have all my forces and not have them milled, right? Weird game. I suspect the most viable path for my opponent to try to win the game is Ancestral target me. Uh, I'm like trying to find. Okay. Opponent was confused about what cards got put into my hand off Atraxa and what cards were in my library. Absolutely, you as well. It's very nice to meet everybody. All right, so now I have double force misstep and an Atraxa hitting in for lethal, and maybe Bob even killing them for lethal here. So I think we're good. All right, Bob, take him out. Boom! Force of will for 5. Very nice. Very, very nice. This was a good league, all things considered. This league went very well. We lost a close match to Mono White, but everything else was good. I kind of like my Mono White matchup in general. The Sarah's Emissaries help with the dismembers I have less dismembers than normal people play, so maybe that's a factor as well. But really strong 4-1, capping off a pretty good weekend where I went 7-0 with the deck. So I like this version. I like the current list. I do like the energy flux and the counterspell setup, the emissaries, the strip mine. I really like the strip mine. Really, really good spot. It will be interesting to see how the metagame reacts to this list being the most played, being on top, because I do feel like this list is susceptible and it is clunky, but it is, of course, certainly powerful. So more vintage to come Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays on my YouTube channel. I will see you then.